Hello there, and welcome to a new tips and tricks video for Necesse. In this one, I got 10 of them geared towards beginners. So it's all about getting your foot into the door and make the game a little bit less overwhelming, show you a few things that are really cool about this game, and will make your life easier. Of course, this video has tips and tricks all over the board, and if you have a certain topic that I didn't cover in this video, please let me know in the comment section and I'll see what I can do for you guys. Alright, that being said, I want to go over the first of these things that is not even on my list, but was such a bother for me. You know, the menu here, like you see it, is larger than usual. You can adjust that in the interface menu. I had such problems with the original interface size, and this changed a lot to me because suddenly I was able to see the items correctly. Changed a lot for me. Anywho, let's get started with number one. So one of the things that I really disliked was when I started out, I found it really hard to discern where I'm actually attacking, you know. As a matter of fact, the game orients always after your cursor, but to make things a little bit more visible, just press Control and you enable the smart mining, and all of a sudden you have that white rectangle over the item that you're actually going to chop at. This is invaluable. It's so cool for all manner of things. If you want to dismantle stuff in your base, or if you want to mine more precisely, all these things I really enjoyed them, and it made a lot of a difference in terms of controllability of the game for me. Number two is also quite useful and easy to overlook, the crafting guide. The crafting guide is amazing. So the crafting guide is really your best friend. Just shift left click something into it, and you can see what items you can craft out of something. This is really cool because the game has so many different things that you find that is really cool to have some place where you can find out what you can do with all these things. It's interacting with everything in the game, just like you see here, and therefore just have it at least in your base to check out what the loot that you found can be used for. Number three is regarding the building stuff of the game. This is one of the things that really confused the hell out of me when I was starting out at first. So when you want to build something, let me dismantle that bad real quick. The direction where an item is facing is not rotatable. If you cannot really do anything as it seems. So here's the trick. The items are always faced like your character. So if my character is facing to the right, the item is placed to the right, and so on and so forth. Took me a while to get behind it, but actually once you got the hang of it, it's super easy to understand. So number four is regarding the boat that you can craft. A boat allows you to go over water, and it's pretty cool, but what really took me a while was to understand that the boat can go into the mount slot, and then you just go into a body of water, press F, and wheeze around. Press F yet again, get out of your boat. Much handier than just having that thing in your hotbar the whole time. So number five is one thing that I really want to showcase. All of your crafting benches have this little functionality called use nearby inventories. So however you build your base, make sure that the inventories are in the vicinity of that, and you have an easy life crafting. You don't need to have the items in your inventory anymore, because the boxes will take them from there. So you can also quick stack to inventory here and just pull out the items out of your inventory. For example here, if I click that, all the stone in my inventory and the clay will be sucked in. So these little tools here make it super easy for you to manage your stuff. Use it. For example, here I have a chest for food stuff right next to my cooking spots. There's a lot of things you can utilize that. Number six regards a certain category of items here regarded summons. So a brain on a stick allows you to summon creatures. Summons in this game are amazing because, you know, it's pretty cool to have the ability to just have one dude, here we go, fighting for you. You can summon till you have either an archer or a melee dude, whatever fits your build better, just use it. I cannot emphasize enough how powerful it is to have just one summon. There are items and armors later in the game to let you dive deeper into the summoning tree, but just one at the very beginning makes it a lot easier. If it can be just working for so many things, and well, get yourself a brain on a stick as soon as you can. You won't regret it. So number 7 is regarding the underground area. So when for a first thing, don't shy away from the underground. Your wooden sword that you're starting with is more than enough to tackle down the enemies. You just need to place down a couple of torches and you're good to go. Where there's light, there's no more enemies spawn, and the sword is really all you need to do. But actually, number 7 is about something else. It's about these things here. You'll find a lot of underground structures, and just like in Minecraft and Terraria and similar games, you can pretty much pick up everything. So you can pick up the stone wall, you can even pick up with a shovel the flooring. So this goes so far as you can not only loot underground structures but also cities and villages. So basically, if you want to get yourself some furniture early on and you don't want to craft it all, just go underground, loot some, or go into the next village, loot some. Here, for example, everything you see, the anvil and the alchemy table here, I looted them all. I haven't crafted a single thing. Especially when it comes down to the anvil. It's really cool because, you know, you need a lot of iron bars in the course of the time. This way you can save up some. Number 8 regards a weapon that you can find early on quite easily. It's called Blood Bolt. So Blood Bolt is a weapon that you can find from vampires. Here's a graveyard. And you will find them on graveyards. So it's, for me, the best ranged weapon that you can get early on. It works like this. Got no ammo, and the best part about it, it's a freaking homing projectile. So this is, for me, the laziest approach that I can get in the early game. And whenever I start out new, I really try to get into a graveyard ASAP to just have these nice bouncy homing projectiles that just look for enemies for me. They do make a little bit of light. It's really cool. And by the way, hotkey for torches is R, in case you didn't know yet. So that's number 8. Go and check out the Blood Bolt. It's really amazing. I really like that spell. And basically all of my beginner runs have one. And the best part about this spell is, in the long run, you even get to upgrade it. Isn't that wonderful? So Blood Bolt, if you can get your hand on a graveyard, just go for it. It's absolutely worth it. So number 9 is regarding your crafting decisions early on. So in the early game, you will collect a lot of copper, a lot of iron, some gold, but copper and iron are the most dominant materials early on. So my personal advice for you goes as follows. Use the copper for armor. Where's my copper? Here it is. And use the iron for all the other things. The thing is, copper armor has +4, +5, +2. And if we compare that to iron armor, +5, +7, +4, yes, it's much stronger. But hear me out. If you check out the iron stuff, you make lots of gear, lots of tools out of that. You can make lots of structures out of that. You make even further tools with that. You can make so much out of iron, and if you compare that to copper, well, copper cannot do that much for you. So it'll grow redundant over the course of the time much faster than iron. Here, there's a lot less items that you can make out of copper. And most importantly, there is no waste ever. So if you ever get out of the copper age and you feel like, wow, now I don't need that stuff anymore, demonic bars. Demonic bars are the next best material after copper and iron, and therefore all your leftovers will get transformed into that useful stuff. So don't worry, just use copper for the armor. Those few points of difference, you won't notice them too much, and keep your iron for all the other projects. And later on, you'll just upgrade your copper armor directly into demonic armor or whatever you want to spec into. There's, in my opinion, not much good reason to use your iron for that. So, number 10 is regarding the last thing for boss battles. So, if you want to make up yourself for a boss battle, like here, summoning the Evil's Protector, just have light where you fight, you know? And be generous with that. Where there's light, no monsters will spawn. And when you go for boss fights, you never really know how far you'll need to kite. So for me, it always paid out a lot to secure the perimeter quite generously, because it's really bad if you have to roam into dark areas during a stressful fight, especially if you don't know the enemy yet. And this rule applies to many, many other areas. Basically, every boss fight grows a lot easier if you have secured a nice lit up perimeter where you cannot get caught out in the darkness that easy. Because you got to make sure that you kill the enemy during the night. And if you waste too much time with kiting and all the other things, I had that before, that I ran out of time with the very first boss. So have light where you fight. It really helps a lot. Okay, there's tons of other things that I could say about this game. I haven't even touched the base building part for real, but I think this is a pretty nice starter. So feel free to leave me a comment if you have anything that you'd like to tell beginners as well, if you feel like that's one thing a beginner should totally know. Put it in the comment section. Leave a thumbs up on that video if you enjoyed. It makes it so much more visible for everybody else. And of course, consider subscribing. It helps out the channel a lot. It costs you only one click. And if you hit the bell button afterwards, you get a notification about all the new stuff that I do. And I do daily stuff. So it's up to you. I'd be really, really happy to have you. Whatever might be the case, thanks for watching. Thanks for your time, and enjoy gaming.